Okay. Morning, Chris.
Yep, good morning.
Okay, ready? Yep. Now call the meeting of the Carter County Board of Commissioners. Please rise for a moment of silence, prayer, and pledge of allegiance. Oh God, thank you for the gift of this new day, and thank you for the blessings of this life. Today, we ask you to bless the hands and hearts of the many professional individuals that provide care and support of those less fortunate who suffer from intellectual, developmental, and other disabilities regardless of age. Thank you and bless all of you for providing quality care of life to those in need. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of preparing accurate written minutes. Recordings are overwritten following approval of the minutes, eliminating all unofficial records of these proceedings. The first item is the approval of the minutes. Previous meeting held September 7th, 2023.
Motion approved.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
Yeah.
Mr. Lukasevich?
yes.
Mr. Nostine?
Show me as not voting since I was absent. Are there any guests concerning county business at this time? If so, please state your name and where you're from.
Okay, my name is Lucy Freck. I live at 155 Penn Forest Road North in Towamencing Township, and I'm an officer of Safe Carbon County. So I'm here to first say thank you for letting me speak. And at the last commissioners meeting, it was stated that a meeting and perhaps several meetings would be held with former users of sewage sludge or Cinegrove. Safe Carbon County would appreciate being invited to the session with these individuals. Safe Carbon County has sent you a letter with this request and additional information on our position regarding sewage sludge as a fertilizer. I do not want to take up your time reading or summarizing what's in our letter, but take the time to stress to you what I see as the all-important points of our and my concerns. In a November 2021 article, Maine found so much PFAS in their deer that they issued a do not eat advisory. It must have caught the attention of the PA Game Commission because in January 2022, they issued a warning about eating deer and started testing them. In April 2022, the PA Game Commission reported forever chemicals were not detected beyond the reporting limit, which is a good news for us consuming these meats. But 3 PFAS compounds were detected in a single liver sample at levels above the reporting limits. So while I agree that it's inappropriate to draw conclusions from a single liver sample, I also agree that we all, including our government agencies, representatives, and senators, must delve deeper into the presence of these chemicals in our environment and food supply, and testing sewage sludge to really ensure that they are safe for our farmers to use as fertilizers on our farm fields. Like the canary in a coal mine, we are being warned about the true dangers of sewage sludge. Now is the time to take actions necessary to keep the public safe. But we have no voice in this discussion. Our local officials have no voice to discuss or raise concerns for us, take actions, or to protect us. Whether you are pro or anti-sludge, you have no voice. I want us to have a voice and see this resolution as our start to getting our voice back. So thank you for listening to my concerns. Thank you for continuing to contemplate our resolution before you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other guests? Mr. Chrisman.
My name is Roy Crispin. I live at 6495 Coco Drive, Lehighton. I want to report that Carbon County resident Linda Crispin is in Red Lodge, Montana. That's Carbon County, Montana. And she took a a large number of pamphlets and brochures from Carbon County, Pennsylvania. And has talked already to the Carbon County, Montana administrator. I don't know what she's doing quite beyond that, but we now have kind of a sister county in Montana. And maybe Linda will tell you about it when she gets back. She's probably talking about sewage sludge, but I'm not sure. So anyway, I just wanted to report that.
Thank you, Roy. Any other guests concerning county business at this time?
And I do wanna make a comment on what was her last name, Lucy?
Right.
And I don't know if you know where I've always been on this, and there was supposedly a scheduled meeting, got to meet with them. And I'm against that because I think everything should be presented to the public, not just to us. You know, we sit here all the time and say we're transparent. And on this case, I just don't get it. I don't know why, you know, there's 22 or whatever it is, 20 municipalities throughout the whole county that are signing on to this. And I think if this got to get any traction that goes across the state, this has to start here with the commissioners doing a resolution on this. And the resolution only says we're suggesting that something should be done about it. It's not, we're not changing the law. We're asking to have things done. And actually this morning I was on with another individual that was a farmer. And there's farmers that are against this. You know, there's a lot of them that are against it. And there's different ways to do it, that maybe certain areas could have different regulations, because what I was told, there's some farms that are having it put on 3 times within a year. And that's in excess. And then it's up and it smells for 3-4 weeks, where it should be tilled in, and they're not even following the proper procedures for that. So I think sitting here as a government entity, I mean, we're the 3 highest officials in the county. You know, everybody thinks the state representatives and senators are, but we're the local government. And I think we have to take action for this. You know, so I'll see what I can do with that. And I see that maybe I'm torn a little bit between meeting with them, because I like the answers too, but I don't think it should be done behind closed doors. I think we can have a civilized meeting and have it with them, and everybody follows the scapegoat that they're going to get attacked. I mean, I think every week we get attacked as commissioners on something, and we deal with it. And I think other people should deal with it also.
All right, so let me go ahead, if I could clarify, and if you look at the email chain, you'll see Sinagro, who I reached out to learn more about this issue from the industry perspective. One, they absolutely said we'd love to meet with the Board of Commissioners. And secondly, they requested the opportunity to meet with the public also. So both of those are in the making. Both a private opportunity to discuss with the Board of Commissioners, our Planning and Development Director, our Chief Clerk, and our Solicitor, and then a follow-up meeting that would be a public meeting. So those things, Commissioner Arner, that you addressed are being programmed.
And I would just say, and I think that is the proper way to go. So we're educating ourselves from the other side, and then we can get the 2 groups together in possibly a public forum and discuss the issues and concerns.
Yeah, I think one thing I would add, Commissioner Notzien, also is we did reach out to the borough of Jim Thorpe to provide us an opportunity to engage with their sewer plant operator, so we can kind of understand the process from the very beginning. You know, how it starts at the local level to the commercial use of this product.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, any other guests? Hearing none, we'll move forward.
Next item, proclamation for adoption, proclamation number 23-012, acknowledging Direct Support Professionals Week, September 10th to September 16th, 2023.
Motion about
Second.
third.
Mr. Arner,
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich,
Yes.
Mr. Notstein.
Yes, at this time, I'd like to call on Tim Sahosky. If you care to join us up the table here, if you would, please, and for comments. Or before we go that far, getting ahead of myself here, but yeah, we'll have our solicitor read the the resolution.
Okay, I'll read the proclamation. Whereas direct support professionals are integral to the physical, mental, and emotional well-being of all individuals with intellectual development and other disabilities, regardless of their age. Excuse me. And whereas a direct support professional assists an individual with disabilities daily with the most intimate needs and provides a broad range of support, from preparing meals and medications to personal care to transporting clients to school, work, and other activities. And whereas the assistance that direct support professionals provide allows individuals with disabilities to help maintain connections with their friends, family, and community while enabling them to lead fulfilling lives. And whereas direct support professionals build close, respectful, and trusted relationships with individuals they serve. And whereas the participation of direct support professionals in medical care planning is critical to the successful management of medical events, post-acute care, and long-term support and services. And whereas the direct support professionals community encapsulates a multitude of professions, including but not limited to direct care workers, personal attendants, in-home support workers, and paraprofessionals, all of which share an equal role in providing long-term support and services for millions of individuals with disabilities. And whereas direct support professionals have worked tirelessly to support individuals with disabilities, and their dedication will continue to make the Commonwealth an inclusive and safe place for all. Now, therefore, the Board of Commissioners of the County of Carbon does hereby join the Governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, in proclaiming September 10 through 16, 2023 as Direct Support Professionals Week, to encourage all citizens to recognize and appreciate the dedication and contributions that these providers make to enhance the lives of their clients. Signed this 14th day of September 2023, the Carbon County Board of Commissioners.
Tim, would you like to make some comments?
Sure, on behalf of the Redco Group and all of the provider agencies across the state of Pennsylvania, I'd like to thank the commissioners for recognizing this important week for all of our direct support professionals, some of who are joining us today in the audience. I'd also like to thank the commissioners for making Carbon County such an inviting area for not only folks with disability, but also those who support them.
Amy, any question, news media?
The services, can you go elaborate on what Redco does?
Sure. So for what we're here today for is our intellectual disability services. So they're residential services. We run group homes, day programs, we transport individuals, help them participate in the community, support them in activities of daily living, things of that nature.
And how many clients do you have today?
Well over 500.
Thank you.
And that is just in Carbon County.
Carbon County, we have about 100 clients. And about 150 staff. If we're fully staffed, it's 150. Fortunately, like everyone else, it's a staffing crunch, so it's a little bit less that way. So as you can, I would invite our folks to provide your schedules and let them know how many hours they work.
Rachel, any questions?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of obvious one, but why is it so important for you guys to continue the work that you do?
Without our services, folks would not have a safety net. We support them in the community. The option, if not for that, would be to institutionalize people, which I don't think anybody would want to do.
If I could add a comment there. So let me personalize this. I'm a common law employer. I have 3 support service professionals who work for me on behalf of my daughter, Molly. I'm able to be here having a little bit of respite because of direct service professionals like we are recognizing during this week. So as a father of a special needs child and someone who takes full advantage of companies and organizations like Redco, and most importantly, the direct service professionals, thank you for all that you do to help ensure that not only individuals like my daughter, but the parents, the guardians, the protectorates of those individuals also have a high quality of life. So thank you.
Anything else?
I just want to add, Redco, your behavioral health services, not only do you provide quality services for your own individuals, you've helped other providers that are residential, help their individuals stay in the community and avoid institutionalization. Like, you've been a great help, to the folks you serve and also to the other providers in Carbon County. You're welcome.
Any other staff members care to make any comments?
I'll say something. Sometimes not all we refer to them as consumers. Not all of them have family support, so we become their family. And they want the same what we want. They want to be accepted when they're out in the community. To them, they're not different. And I think like stuff like that for people, it starts at home. When you teach your own children how to act with people with special needs or disability, that's important too.
Thank you for that comments, and I think it takes a special person to do what you do. And I thank you for everything that you do for our people with special needs and disabilities, intellectual and physical. Thank you so much for what you do for those people. Appreciate it. Now, good part. I don't know who you want in a photo, like to get a photo op, and we'll try to do it a little bit virtual here with Chris in the background.
That's all right.
Don't want to exclude them. So, whatever from the Redco group would like to join us up here,
Okay, all right.
or right up front. Okay.
Do we want to say that? Chris is like the whole bunch?
I'll Photoshop it in later, Rocky. We're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least I'm in the middle, then usually photoshopping out.
You want to?
Yeah, we do have a young gentleman here that would like to make a comment as well. So,
I got a support from my family here, also from my step, and see, my mom doesn't support me anyway because she's too busy taking care of her husband, and I don't get much support from her because she's not in my life as well as she does be in my life. And also, when I do care for her, it's not bad. I don't hate her. I do care a lot about her. I just don't get no love and support I got from these guys right here. Because, and they've been my family for how long?
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Wayne.
thank you so much for that. This is the other side of the story that what the people, the public really needs to hear, how it affects the lives of so many other people. There's been about 120 or whatever it is here in Carbon County alone. So thank you for that. Now, I'm going to present this to you then.
Thank you.
Around this way.
Awesome.
Look at the camera right there, a little bit lower. You don't want to hide your face.
You take one, yep, perfect. Ready, guys? 1, 2, 3. One more for me. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you so much, guys.
Watch your step.
Wow.
Wait, Tim takes that.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice speaks.
Good job, buddy.
Nice speaks.
If you would like to leave, you're more than welcome to stay for the meeting if you have the time. If not, we certainly understand.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Everybody.
The good part of our job. Yeah.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always say like when I do that, people with disabilities, I always say, like, are you sure you're not the disabled ones and you're the correct? You know, sometimes I say some of these people that have autism and stuff like, you look at them, they're so smart, like. Sometimes they think they know more than what we do. Different.
No doubt about that. Okay, I think we can move on.
The next item is the report of executive sessions held.
There were none.
Okay, the department reports. The budget transfer,
Motion approved.
Second,
Mr. Honor,
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich,
yes.
Mr. Notstein.
Yes,
There were no supplemental appropriations. Expenditures, approval of payroll check numbers 75525 through 75537. And direct deposit check numbers 6056905 through 6057342. To the payroll paid through the payroll fund checking account for all county funds totaling $661,134.91. This is the payroll dated September 8th, 2023.
Motion to ratify.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The next item, I asked, would the board entertain a motion to amend the agenda that was specifically advertised for today's meeting? It's under the heading expenditures.
Motion to ratify or amend.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Approval of check numbers 238 459 through 238 646 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account. Adding to the area agency on aging $23,597.56, making the total for that fund to be $127,261.99. And then correcting the weekly total to $2,321,794.53.
Motion with the correction.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The treasurer's report?
Move to acknowledge,
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes. At this time, we're gonna recess for our salary board. I'll now reconvene the meeting of the salary board from last week.
Okay, the first item is the approval of the minutes of the salary board meeting held August 3rd, 2023.
Motion approved.
Second,
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, are there any guests concerning salary board business? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Report of executive sessions held.
There were none.
The next item is the Pocono County's workforce development area. Abolish the position of one WIOA fiscal manager, career link fiscal agent at $26.11 per hour, a grade S8, step G, effective September 11th, 2023.
Motion approved. Second.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes,
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Okay, at this time, I'll adjourn the salary board meeting till next month. This time I'll reconvene the weekly meeting of these commissioners.
And the first item is the personnel report.
Motion to approve with the changes to the election part with Julian Berger and spelled BERGER instead of BURGER.
second,
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes,
Next item is the acknowledgements for courts and row offices.
Move to acknowledge.
Second.
Your Honor?
Yeah.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. Children and Youth for approval and execution. Children and Youth Services fiscal year 2022-2023 needs-based plan budget amendment in the amount of $1,761,980.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next item is the invoice report for approval and execution. Children and Youth Services fourth quarter fiscal year 2022-2023 Act 148 invoice report, which will result in the county receiving $1,298,558.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Needs-based plan for approval and execution. Carbon County Children and Youth Services needs-based plan and budget for fiscal year 2024-2025, totaling $10,504,989.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, if I could, at this time, we have Jill Geisinger, our Director of Children and Youth, if you'd like to make some comments, Jill.
Children Youth needs to establish a needs-based budget every year. We like to predict what our spending will be, our future financial needs to for the next fiscal year. We operate from July to June. We also
Excuse me.
get to
Jill, can you hear her all right, Chris?
Yeah, I actually can't see her, but can hear her. She's off camera.
You should know better. There you go.
Yeah.
the needs-based budget is also a time for us to promote our strengths and identify our gaps. So some of the things I'd like to highlight on is that we've done really good in teaming. So finding providers and services that our families can use and bringing them into our agency so that we can provide those resources. We have increased our permanency with our children 26% from the last fiscal year, which means we have permanent, loving, adoptive, supportive homes for children, and some permanent legal guardians who took in children. So we had 7 adoptions and the rest were all guardianship for our children and return homes. We also had a 39% decrease in placements over the last fiscal year, which again, I think is reliant on having good contracts and good communication and collaboration with outside agencies. We've done a lot of diversionary services, which having children who are truant going to an outside service first before coming into Children Youth, and then also using our services to help families in need, such as Homestead Services, Concern, and Justice Works to provide those services for our families. And what we're looking at in this budget with a little bit of increase that we asked for the state and federal funds is to increase our evidence-based programming. So that is data-driven programming that has positive outcomes for families. It also helps with behavioral health concerns, which we saw a 22% increase in behavioral health concerns reports over the last fiscal year. So we want to make sure we have those good evidence-based program that's going to provide the data we need for the future. We also want to have tenured dedicated staff. We have a 47% turnover rate in our agency. So we want to make sure that we're providing the best service to our staff so that they stay, they learn what to do, and they help our families that are in need. And another thing is to increase our collaboration. So bringing in partners, participating in events, building relationships and supports. And if we do that, we can support our families in need. So in a nutshell, is our budget. Thank you so much.
Jill. As you can tell, with the projected budget, the 2024, 2025 is over $10 million. So that is quite an investment, not only by the county, but by the state and our children and youth. And we take that seriously. Okay.
Okay. Next item is Human Services for approval and execution. The Human Services non-block grant plan, the 2023-2024 state fiscal year for Carbon County's Human Services Development Fund and Homeless Assistance Programs totaling $77,359. Plans for the Carbon Monroe Pike MHDS and drug and alcohol are being submitted with Carbon County's Human Services Development and Homeless Assistance Plan.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The solicitors report?
Thank you. Relating to the county parking lot, seeking a motion for approval and execution of a special activities agreement for use of the county parking lot by Pennsylvania Running Company LLC of Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, for a half marathon and full marathon to take place April 27th and 28th, 2024, pending receipt of a valid insurance certificate.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yeah.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And likewise, seeking approval and execution of a special activities agreement for the use of the county parking lot by Lisa Napolitano, Running with the Angels Incorporated of Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, for a fundraiser running event on May 11, 2024, beginning at the pedestrian bridge to Weissport.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Under GIS and mapping, seeking a motion for approval and execution of a master service agreement with Pictometry International Corporation doing business as Eagle View of Rochester, New York, for 2-flight 6-inch aerial ortho imagery and 6-inch oblique imagery capture. Eagle View Connect for a 6-year term at a total cost of $21,420 per year. The term of the agreement will automatically renew until either party notifies the other in writing of their intent not to renew the current term at least 120 days prior to the renewal period.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, real quick on that, the resolutions will be, it's for a flyover in 2024, early spring, before the leaves are on the trees. And again, in 2027, and the resolution will be going from 9 inches to 6 inches. It gives a lot better clarity. It doesn't seem like a lot, but compared to what we had many years ago when it was like at 2 feet, it's extremely important to our 911 and other responders. I just wanted to point out a little bit that that site gets 400 visitors a day, or a total of about 150,000 or a year. So the site is very well used by various people, realtors, business development, etc. So it's an extremely busy site that the county has. So I'm glad that passed.
Next, under Mock Chunk Lake Park, seeking a motion for approval and execution of a special activities agreement for the use of Mock Chunk Lake Park by Walk to End Alzheimer's on September 23, 2023, pending receipt of a valid insurance certificate.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And seeking a motion for ratification of a revision to the special activities agreement for the use of Mock Chunk Lake Park by, which was previously approved on September 7th, 2023 by the Wildlands Conservancy for the Panther Valley School District field trip, September 14 or 15, 2023, pending approval of the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yeah.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And lastly, seeking motion to adopt resolution 29 of 2023, urging the Pennsylvania General Assembly to reauthorize chapter 53 of title 35 of the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes with 9/11 surcharge increase to support next generation 9/11, the next generation 9/11 system across the Commonwealth.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, if I can call on Gary Williams to come up, please, and explain a little how important this really is to the county that we get this bill passed and the effects it has on the county.
Okay. Well, we definitely need more money, Wayne.
Mhm.
I'll start that way.
I had prefaced though.
In 2015, before prior to that, we had what's called Act 7856 money. Basically, it was split. So we had the phone lines were charged $1.50 from wire Act 56 it was at the time. So from 2015, they moved it up to $1.65 when we all urged them to do it the right way, go to $2.25. But that fell on deaf ears and we only got 15 cents added to that. However, now we're at the sunset that's coming up January 31st of 2024. I think it's very important that everybody realizes how important item one is and the fees that come along with it. Technology is expensive, equipment's expensive. The $1.65 isn't. I live it within my means. But we try to put equipment on towers for our responders and really get us in, prepare us for when we have to go digital. But we need more towers, we need more equipment on these towers, and that costs money. The state legislator, I think need to get back and they need to push what I go with the CCAP recommendation, which is basically $2.30. And then every year after that, there's an increase due to inflation. I think that makes the most sense for our centers. Reality is that we can keep up with the technology that's before us and everything that happens. I mean, we just saw last week when 911, we had the outage when 20 counties go down. Didn't really, I'm not going to say it didn't affect us, but the tools that Carbon County has, we were the only ones that were answering calls without answering calls and getting the dispatches out. So we were using 2 softwares to talk to our callers at the time with no phones. I think that's impressive. What happened then was when we started doing it, other counties started reaching out. Schuylkill then turned on their rapid SOS and started doing the same of what we were doing that day. But as you can see, technology is very expensive. I mean, everything's expensive. We just need more money. Otherwise, we're going to be. Otherwise, what happens is we get currently we get through Act 12 money and the phone lines. I get around $1.5 million from those phones. I try to live within those means. If that goes away, unfortunately for the commissioners here, taxpayers got to pay what I spend up there at that time. So I think it's very important.
Let me expand a little bit on that rapid SOS and what that really does. They get, really don't even get a call, but something pops up on the screen and it pinpoints where that call is coming from GPS on the cell phones. Landlines were working, but cell phones were not. I had an incident on Friday where using this technology, it went exactly to the address where the call came from. And they're able to pinpoint it. The big drawback of the system is that it takes a lot more time to answer. They'll get that pop up on the screen. They'll type in the message, 911, what's your emergency? So now instead of verbally doing everything and typing it in as they're getting the information, it now has to be input by hand as it comes up on the screen. So we had Friday, when this was occurring, we had one dispatcher in Monroe County assisting over there, and our phones are compatible. So she was able to assist from Monroe County. We did forward calls. She took about 10 calls, I believe, and be able to tie into our system and handle it from that end. At the same time, we had 4 dispatchers on duty. And they were pretty busy trying to keep up because now with the process and having to do it by text, it takes a little bit longer. But it's extremely important that we keep up with today's technology and expand our microwave system to give better coverage to our emergency responders. Let's take this instance in Chester County there. when you have multiple agencies out there, we have a lot of areas that are dead spots, they cannot communicate. So when we have an incident such as that, it doesn't have to be escapee, but any emergency, whether it be an aircraft down or lost persons, etc., we need the communications, and it's near impossible to get 100%, but I certainly think we can improve on our system, but without this additional funding, we can't afford to do it. And the other thing is, according to CCAP, there is finally some movement in the Senate, and hopefully they will get it passed before the end of this session, because as we all know, they're just going back in this month. They have very few days to do it. If they go on break before the end of the year, if it's not passed, we know it's not going to happen in January. So at the end of January, that money goes away. So that's over, $100,000 a month, so it means a lot to the county. So we're pushing it. Other counties are pushing it. And that's why we're passing this resolution, and we'll forward this to PEMA and our elected officials.
And I think when you even look at this right now, it's like what you have so far, it looks to me like we're gonna probably have you could have 2,000-3,000 more calls. Yeah, correct. Which people look at the money side of it, but then it's also gonna, maybe we'll have to add staff here. Yeah. It's like it's gonna be devastating
Well,
to the county if this doesn't go through.
definitely.
I mean, it's like just just hiring one person, or even trying to hire one person, how hard it is. That's a stressful job. It's hard to even get people, but I think people gotta realize the calls keep going up and up, and it's gonna keep getting worse. And if this is going, who knows where the money, you know what I mean? How much you have to tax on this.
I'm not sure why they won't increase it, right? I mean, this should have been done. Let's not beat around the bush. And it would solve it, maybe the counties that are having hiring issues, now they have more money to utilize for trying to get out of these commercials, whatever they need to do. Also the technology and all that kind of stuff. I mean, for instance, we have the Broad Mountain Tower, for instance, for the public to understand, is we have to move our equipment off that tower because it's unstable a little bit. And we have to put it on, we got permission to go onto the state tower right next door. And it's going to be around $250,000 to $300,000 to move that. But we're also trying our best to add equipment to other towers to enhance our communications with our responders. So it's an act to follow here.
The story we're getting from a lot of legislators are that they see it as a tax increase and not a surcharge. But what they're doing, and I've told our legislators to their face that when you vote no to pass something like that, you're voting for me to raise the taxes. We have to provide that service. We have to. I mean, you know what the constituents would do if we wouldn't, if nobody's there to take the call. We're bare minimum now at times with only 2 dispatchers on, because if something happens or 2 things happen in different ends of the county, or they're doing emergency medical dispatch instructions, trying to save somebody's life during a heart attack, that takes time. And if we don't have sufficient personnel, well-trained personnel, experienced personnel, that's a problem. It's a liability to the county as well. So I think our state has to step up. Just because they don't want to raise the taxes, don't push it back on us.
Thank you.
Answer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary.
I'm good.
You're good. Okay.
Hearing needs.
Okay.
See you guys.
Okay. Don't leave yet, just in case media has questions.
Okay.
Okay, any further business? Okay. Hearing none, commissioners reports, Mr. Honor,
None of this time.
Mr. Lukasevich,
Nothing.
Mr. Notstein?
Yeah, just real quick, we had the training center committee, police, fire, EMS had an event this past Saturday with where elected officials and candidates and consuls and members, supervisors, mayors, etc., borough managers. We only had 16 participants, but overall the participation, I was concerned about people getting involved and just sitting back and listening, but they grabbed hose, they drug a hose line, they handled the nozzles, they watched 2 separate police scenarios, 1 active shooter, 1 a felony stop. I think almost all that I talked to are those that attended were really impressed by what we have here, what we're doing here, the training we're putting out here. I wish we would have had better turnout, so at our next committee meeting, we'll probably discuss doing it again, because I think those people, I think we had about 6 municipalities that have 1 or 2 members here, as well as a news media from the Lehigh Valley attended and participated, and we had some coverage there as well. So I think it went good. I think the elected officials learned a lot from their comments, and I think it went good, better than we expected, except for the turnout. I don't know, Chris, if you had any comments or you attended and.
Yeah, no, Wayne, I'm gonna say is I talked to both Chief and Nesquehoning Fire Department and Sheriff Ziegler. Excellently well done, well organized event, highly informative to all. I was with one of the groups and they only had the most positive things to say. And importantly, they understood, why we need to ensure both at the municipality and the county level that we have the best trained, educated, and incentivized, first responders in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And we need to be committed to do that. And that program that ran this past weekend helped, I believe, solidify support for the training that takes place up there. So very well done.
Thank you, Chris, for those comments. Okay, that's all I have. Meeting adjourned. Amy, would you like to go first? I think we covered a lot of it in our by department heads and that.
Going back to the 911 thing, what is your overall budget? So how much percentage of the schools is 1.5 million?
2.3. Yes.
So it's
up there.
About half of your budget.
Correct.
And yeah, I believe is all I have, and thank you.
Okay, Rachel.
If the 911 thing again also, can you kind of just explain why what you do is so vital to the community?
Well, the dispatchers up there save lives, basically, property. Somebody's house burning inside, they get the responders there quickly, effectively. All the equipment has to, if you call, you expect your cell phone to work, you get through landlines, same as anything, any device you use, you get to the right county. And that takes money for that information to come into us.
Real quick, Harry, on the saving lives and the emergency of medical dispatch that the dispatchers do, how to do CPR, etc. They deliver babies over the phones,
Yes.
What to do in emergency, should the cord be around the baby's neck, etc. They have their procedures to follow. They have a program in the computer that they can give the instructions over the phone. And takes about 300 hours of training to train a dispatcher. So they have to be alert, have to pay attention, be able to convey the messages to all the emergency responders out there. So they do truly save lives over the phone.
We have 3 frames up there, well, there's probably 6 frames up there, 3 for saving lives and 3 for delivering babies at this point. Yeah, true story.
Yeah.
And I think even like last year when they added it on, that you could text.
Yes,
Because there's actually people that could be hurt that can't talk, that can text. That's like a big thing.
yes.
If somebody's on the trail and get hurt, and then you can, you'll know where they're at.
And to talk to that, where even if the domestics, we're also finding that use of the text that I won in Lehigh Gorge
Yeah.
for accidents, rafting accidents.
Yeah.
When they don't have cell service.
Yeah.
They could get out text,
Yeah.
text out, believe it or not.
I think that was the big thing that was added on.
Yes.
That was really good, I think.
Correct.
And that was part of the tour on Saturday, after the 2 scenarios. We only had enough people for 2 groups, but we were ready for 4 groups. Do 4 scenarios at the same time, but then a few of them took advantage of touring the communication centers, who were some that were never there. So it was very educational. I hope we did a good job with that. So, okay. Anything else? Okay, have a good one.